Hi, everybody. Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club, the show that I launched into immediately.
You keep saying that like it's a change of pace from what we always do.
I'm just trying to catch you off guard. I'm just trying to keep the podcast fresh, keep us all on our toes.
I don't know
keep
how
the
you're
fear
gonna
in
catch
you.
me off guard in a show that I have to consent to being on because I have to boot up programs and plug in microphones and hit record.
That's why I got to get creative about it. Also, you've known me for more than 2 decades, so the ways in which I can catch you off guard are limited in the first place.
Yeah, you'd have to become a Freddy Krueger and infiltrate my dreams.
I don't think that would confuse you that much.
No, I don't know if you'd survive in there. I'd out Freddy you.
No, you'd just be like, oh hey, well, today we're throwing bodies on this pyre, so grab a shovel.
Listen, I haven't had the burning bodies dream in a long time.
What about the cannibal one? How's that going?
Probably more recent than the burning bodies one.
Okay.
Sometimes you just have to eat people, and we don't know why.
There's no theme song for this show,
No.
so I'm just gonna say it. It's Tekken.
Oh, shit.
I'm Mike.
I'm not.
And hey, if we were monetized, we would have probably lost it right there.
It's been longer than 30 seconds.
I think it's 5 minutes. You're not supposed to swear
5
in.
minutes now?
I think so, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not up to date on everything because we're not even monetized, so I don't even need to know.
No, nobody wants to pay for this.
And the truth is, even if we were monetized, I will probably ignore all of that stuff anyway.
That's how we lose all the money.
I don't think anybody makes money on YouTube anymore. I think it all comes through Patreon and stuff now.
Oh, you mean monetized through YouTube? I'm thinking like other stuff.
Oh, I see. You mean like if we want to get like brand deals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, hit us up, Pringles. I'll advertise Pringles.
What about Prongles? I feel like we're more likely
Oh
to
my
get...
god, if we got a Pringles sponsorship, do you know how happy I would be?
Once you pop, that's great.
That was my favorite thing about it. I don't know if I said that to you, but...
You did.
Okay, good. Once you pop, that's great.
So close to just stealing everything. Except for their cool-ass pig mascot.
Yeah, that pig is the most creative thing about Pringles, and I love it.
Excuse me, I think a direct competitor to Pringles is creative enough. Coming to get you, Pringles.
Let's talk about Tekken.
I want to talk about Prongles. I don't want to talk about Tekken.
We've talked about Pringles enough. You know what Tekken means?
I don't. I was very confused this whole episode.
Tekken means Iron Fist.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I guess I knew that Ken meant something, but...
I know that Ken's a Street Fighter.
Yeah. Hadoken. Hello, Ken! That's what he said. That's what Ryu says when they fight. Hello, Ken!
I just hope you leave all of that silence in.
Yeah, alright. Tekken was released in 1994, which is quite a bit earlier than I thought.
Yeah.
For arcades, and it was made by Namco. So 1994, that means it's 30 years old this year.
Gross.
It's 30 years old this month. That's why we're looking at it now.
Gross.
It was created as a direct competitor to Sega's Virtua Fighter.
That's so wild because Virtua Fighter has disappeared. Tekken has won the Ultimate Fighter Championship.
I know, but I think that's Sega's fault. Like, Do they still make... I think they still make Virtua Fighters occasionally.
Yeah, didn't they have one fairly recently?
I'm looking it up. Oh, one came out this year, apparently.
What?
Oh,
Well, then that
it was a
sounds like
port.
it's... Oh.
Virtua Fighter 5 came out for PC this year, but it came out in arcades in 2021. No, it came out in
That sounds
arcades...
like a marketing problem.
It came out in arcades in 2006. What? Okay, so Virtua Fighter 5 came out in 2006, but Virtua Fighter 5 Revo came out this year for Windows.
Okay.
So they have continued making versions of Virtua Fighter 5 for almost 20 years.
I'm so disappointed that you're not calling it Virtua Fighter.
I almost did. I caught myself.
No, why?
I don't know.
That's how it's pronounced.
Okay.
It's like Monster Hunter Double Cross. It's Virtua Fighter.
The Virtua Fighter's only up to 5 and Tekken's up to 8, I think, so... It was created as a competitor to Virtua Fighter, and it also, like, kind of lost to Virtua Fighter at the time as well, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because I definitely heard more about Tekken back then.
Yeah, I didn't know Virtua Fighter was a thing until you made me watch a TV show about it.
Oh, I knew it was a thing, but didn't know all this. But they actually hired in a lot of the Virtua Fighter team to make Tekken.
To defeat itself?
Yeah, they hired in Seiichi Ishii, who was, I think, the lead designer on Virtua Fighter and is the lead designer on Tekken as well. I guess Namco really just like poached the whole Sega team and were like, do what you did before, but better. But the plan was to outclass Virtua Fighter's graphics using the Namco System 11 board, which was developed jointly by Namco and Sony, and was based on the hardware of the PlayStation, which wasn't out yet at the time. But unfortunately, by the time Tekken released, Virtua Fighter 2 was out and had already kind of like surpassed what they were trying to do.
Oh no! Got beaten by Akira Yuki.
Yeah. So Tekken sold well to like smaller arcades, apparently, as a cheaper alternative to Virtua Fighter 2. It's I don't know a whole lot about Tekken. I don't know how much experience with Tekken do you have?
I think I watched someone play it once.
Okay. I have played Tekken 2 at a friend's house. And I have played Pokken Tournament at a friend's house.
Oh my god, I forgot that existed.
And I guess I tried Kazuya in Smash Brothers when they added him, and that's my entire experience.
Doesn't count.
That's
not real.
That's my entire experience with the Tekken franchise, is what I'm saying. The only Tekken thing I have ever owned is the Kazuya DLC for Super Smash Brothers. But yeah, it has 4 buttons. Each one corresponds to one of your character's limbs, which means that moves are kind of easy to figure out, because if you see someone else do a move, all you have to do is pay attention to which limbs were involved.
Can I fling my whole body at them? Is this like a QWOP scenario?
I think if you press all 4 buttons, that might happen. that involves all of the limbs.
Yeah. I just want to hurl myself like a human projectile.
Yeah, there's a button for each limb, but we really need like a head button, a chest button, and a butt button, I think, as well.
So we could go head button our opponents?
Apparently, when they first announced Tekken for America, they announced it was going to be called Rave War.
Rave War?
Rave War.
Why would that sell to Americans?
Well, the guy who was like the head of marketing in Namco America at the time didn't think that Tekken would sell because the word Tekken doesn't mean anything outside of Japan.
It doesn't have to.
But like, what does Rave War mean?
I learned just today that it means Iron Fist. I thought it was just a series name. It doesn't need to mean anything.
Sometimes I think it's for the best if it doesn't mean anything, because then that word is just... Like, Tekken is a word that means something in Japan, but outside of Japan, it just means the game.
Right.
And if you say Tekken, everybody knows what you're talking about. So apparently Tekken was the fourth most popular arcade game of 1995 in Japan, coming behind Virtua Fighter 2, Street Fighter Zero, and Darkstalkers Revenge.
Oh, yeah. I love the Darkstalkers 1.
I love that that's three things that we've already talked about. Those are all old friends of ours that won. But because the game was developed on hardware based on the PlayStation, that meant it was very easy to port it to the PlayStation. And that's where it really found its success. That's why we know what it is.
I feel like that's true of like anything that was once an arcade original that makes it onto ports. Because like arcades don't really exist anymore.
Yeah, I think like they had their time, but even by the time that we were kids, I feel like arcade games didn't really make it until they got a home console port, right?
Yeah.
That's where that's when you could take it home and you could play it all day.
You didn't have to keep paying every time you died.
Exactly.
And yet they keep making rhythm games and putting them in Japanese arcades I'll never get to play.
Well, rhythm games... Well, I guess it depends on the game, but I feel like a lot of the rhythm games have custom hardware, right?
Yeah.
So I can see why that's more difficult to bring to the home. I don't think that the GameCube dance mat ever really took off.
That doesn't make me any less upset about it.
No, I know. And what's the one? Taiko no Tatsujin, is that?
Yeah, the drum game.
Yeah. That has actual drums in the arcades, right?
You can buy drums.
I know, but I feel like people don't very often buy all these like peripherals anymore. I think Nintendo kind of learned that lesson with the Wii, because when the Wii came out, they were all about, there's gonna be so many attachments for the Joy-Cons, and nobody used them. Nobody wanted all that clutter in their house.
I have played, I think it was the GameCube Taiko no Tatsujin, like home drums. And it might have just been because it was an old pair that had been used a lot, but I felt like it was not as responsive as playing the actual Taiko no Tatsujin taiko drums.
I can believe it. I've got like 3 sets of Donkey Konga bongos somewhere in this house.
Why?
Just because I kept ending up with them somehow. I got one set that came with Donkey Konga. I got a second set that came with Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. And I'm not sure where the third set came from, but I have it. Yeah, when Tekken came to the PlayStation, it was the first PlayStation game to sell more than 1 million copies.
Wow.
Which is pretty good. It was the, again, 4th best-selling home console game of 1995 in Japan. It just kept coming in 4th.
That's a cursed number.
On consoles, it came in behind Dragon Quest VI, Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah.
And Virtua Fighter 2.
Always in the shadow of his big brother.
Yeah. So now the Tekken series has 8 numbered titles. It's got more than a dozen spin-off titles. And it's had crossovers with Street Fighter, Galaga, Pokemon.
Galaga.
Yeah, there's a Tekken Galaga game.
Why?
It's the Pokemon one that makes me... I mean, I know we've known about it for a long time now, but it hasn't worn off the shock to me that they made a Pokemon Tekken game. and there's Tekken stuff in Smash Brothers as well. That's a place where Tekken won, actually, because the only Virtua Fighter in Smash Brothers is that Akira is an assist trophy. But Kazuya is a whole-ass playable character, so...
Yeah, how'd he sneak in there?
I think Sakurai loves Tekken, if I remember rightly. Wasn't there... I think Heihachi might have been in that PlayStation All-Stars game as well, now that I think about it. Remember that?
No.
When PlayStation tried to make their own Smash Brothers?
No.
And it sucked because they don't have enough memorable characters. This is Tekken. It's just called Tekken. It's a 2-episode OVA released in Japan. The first episode was released on January 21st, 1998. It's written by Ryota Yamaguchi. who wrote Metabots.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, we liked Metabots.
That was funny. I had a good time.
This I thought was less interesting, but...
It's also a serious fighting game and not a wacky robot show.
That's true. The show was produced by Studio Dean, who we know because they did the Higurashi show and they did the Umineko show.
I'd started reading Higurashi. I'm finally doing it.
I actually noticed, was it last night you were playing it? It popped up.
I think so. I think that's when I started it.
Yeah, it popped up while I was playing whatever I was playing with friends. Is it Content Warning? I think we were playing. And it popped up saying you were playing it, and I was like, oh, good.
I've been in a visual novel mood. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna beat it.
Good.
I'm gonna beat reading.
Gonna finally defeat the demons.
I'm gonna speedrun this whole story. I'm just gonna put it on skip.
You're not gonna have any problems with the reading gauntlet stage at the end.
No way. I'm gonna one shot. I'm not even gonna take any damage.
I game overed last time I tried reading.
I died reading a book.
I got to the last chapter and I just didn't have enough lives left. The problem is that I rely way too much on damage boosting, and if you don't have any power-ups left, you can't do that.
Oh yeah, I know. But like, some of the enemies get really tanky, so it's a pain in the ass to get that far without the damage boost, but like, you gotta like really spec into regen and stuff.
Yeah, well, it was too late by that point. Reading really needs some kind of like respec option so I can put more points in like vocab and, you know. But anyway.
These visual novels with their pictures and their music, it's just how do you expect anybody to focus?
So this show was loosely based on Tekken 1 and 2's plot, kind of combined, but it's got some elements of Tekken 3 in it as well. And we open with a narrator talking about like religious conflict or something.
I was very confused.
Yeah, he's like talking about how fighting is buried in our DNA or some shit. I don't remember. It wasn't super interesting, and it wasn't really very connected to the plot either. Like, I guess thematically it's connected to what Heihachi's about to do to his son, but
I guess, but like, you're right, it had nothing to do with at least this episode. I thought
That's
that
true.
this was going to be the exposition dump that like made Tekken make sense, but it was the most confusing part.
Yeah, there is a second episode that we haven't watched. By the way, what we watched here was my edit. Because I was only able to find this with the 2 episodes edited together as a full movie. So I edited it to end at what I assume was the end of the first episode.
Okay.
It felt like it would have been the end of the first episode.
It felt like a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, and it was about halfway through the movie, but yeah, when it got released in English, they combined the 2 episodes into a movie the same way they did for the Sonic OVA, because it's the same people.
Mm-hmm.
During this opening part, there's a bunch of characters that flash by in like circles. It happens so fast that I didn't even see it the first time.
Right, these little bubble people.
Yeah. Some of them are Tekken 3 characters who don't otherwise appear in this OVA. Because at the time when this came out, Tekken 3 was the newest game, but it was either too new for them to really include much from it, or it was just like they were trying to adapt the beginning of the story and Tekken 3 didn't feature into it enough.
Right.
Eddie Gordo, Forrest Law, Huarang, Jin Kazama, and Ling Xiaoyu all flash by. They're all Tekken 3 characters. And also Kunimitsu and Wang Jinrei flash by. Those are boss characters from the first game, but they don't seem to be in the rest of this OVA. They're just in these circles at the beginning.
That's fine.
Yeah, they didn't have time to include all of the Tekken 1 and 2 characters in this, so there's a whole bunch of them that just appear as background characters. And I'm not sure if they get bigger roles in the second episode or not.
Maybe. The second episode's the tournament arc.
Yeah, that's true. We start out in a dark void, which we will later find out is a dream.
Spoilers!
Sorry. But I'm just trying to rationalize this dark void.
It was a little strange, yeah.
So a young Kazuya is comforting a young Jun who has just witnessed a rabbit get eaten by a bobcat. Okay, I've got something to say about this bobcat thing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have something to say about these impressive eyebrows on Kazuya.
He does have quite some eyebrows, but that's his defining feature. Like, he's got eyebrows and he's got a hair that looks like a geyser.
He was born with the eyebrows that he has as a man. They have never altered in size.
But that's how we know that there's like a growing evil inside him.
I thought that was the scar and the evil glowing presence within it.
And the fact that he turns into a devil occasionally. Yeah. No, this bobcat thing, this is what tipped me off. So another thing about the version that we watched is I'm pretty sure these subtitles are just a transcription of the dub script.
Okay.
I don't think this is an actual translation of the Japanese dialogue.
Okay.
But I think it's probably close enough anyway. It doesn't seem like there are any major changes, but it was the word bobcat here that tipped me off because I was like, bobcat? That's American. There aren't any bobcats outside of North America. And I listened closely and he says Yamaneko in Japanese.
Oh.
And then I looked up Yamaneko, and Yamaneko refers exclusively to the Iriomote mountain cat, which is, I guess it's like kind of like a bobcat, but it's a mountain cat that lives exclusively on the island of Iriomote.
Well, this is like the Tanuki problem. Like, we don't have a direct translation for that in English.
So they tend to become raccoons.
Raccoon dogs, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like Tom Nook, isn't it? We all think of him as a raccoon, but he's supposed to be a tanuki.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jun's all upset because this Yamaneko killed a rabbit, a mother rabbit, and
he's about to kick it off a cliff.
Yeah, he's gonna. Well, yeah. Do two wrongs make a right?
Probably not. You know, normally I would say yes for the bit, but I don't want to see him kick an animal. That doesn't feel good.
It's okay because Heihachi shows up. He gets
thrown off a cliff.
Yeah, Heihachi, defender of the animals, shows up and grabs Kazuya, scolding him for wasting his time on this.
Heihachi is the defender of no one. He is simply a sun thrower.
So, Heihachi Mishima, played by Daisuke Gori, who played Heihachi in the games from Tekken 3 up until Tekken 5. He's also known for playing Mr. Satan and the Sea Turtle in Dragon Ball. He was the voice of Andros, Pigma, and General Pepper in Star Fox 64.
All the best characters?
Yeah, pretty good. That's a pretty good lineup. And also, he played somebody named Poporo in Magical Princess.
I knew it. You were taking too long. You were taking too long to spit it out.
Minky Momo.
Minky Mama.
We've had a lot of Minky Momos recently.
Yeah. It's like the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but everything's coming up Minky.
What's your Minky number? In English, Heihachi is played by John Paul Shepard, who didn't really have anything super notable in the old credits list. He played Yamamoto in Spriggan.
Oh.
And Bray in Without Evidence, but I don't know what either of those things are, so.
Me neither.
So Heihachi tears a locket from Kazuya's neck and then takes him away to toss him off a cliff for being weak.
Yeah, lions throw their cubs off of cliffs all the time, and only if they're worthy do they crawl themselves back up.
I think that might be made up.
What?
I've never heard of that.
I've seen The Lion King.
I was just gonna say, I think Heihachi saw The Lion King and misunderstood it.
Well, Mufasa didn't come back up, but Simba did, and he was much stronger.
Mufasa tried to come back up, but Scar pushed him back down.
Just like Heihachi.
Heihachi thinks that Scar was the hero of the movie. He didn't watch till the end.
So, I like the cut of this guy's jib.
I only watched half an hour of the movie, but it was good. Really taught a valuable lesson.
I got this idea to throw my son off a cliff in the middle of it, so I had to get up.
That's where he's come from? Hey kid, I just watched this documentary called The Lion King. Give me a great idea. So yeah, Jun picks up the necklace. Before he tosses him off the cliff, Heihachi says if he's worthy of being his son, he'll climb back up. And then Jun wakes up. Apparently she has this dream every night after being traumatized by it as a child.
Well, she says every night, but then she goes on to say, I haven't had this dream in a while.
Well, maybe she's an unreliable narrator. So this is Kazuya and Heihachi's backstory from the first game, but Jun wasn't part of it originally. She wasn't there to witness this stuff. She was introduced in Tekken 2 and she first meets Kazuya as an adult in the games. But since this is basically the plot of Tekken 1, but with a couple of Tekken 2 characters added in.
Mm-hmm.
So Jun wouldn't normally be part of this storyline. In fact, in this story, they're going after the company which Heihachi is in charge of. In the second game, Kazuya has taken over the company and become the new series villain.
Oh.
So in the second game, when Jun is introduced, she's actually investigating Kazuya, who is the villain of that game.
It wasn't me, it was the demon in my chest.
I mean, that's, I think, pretty much the plot, yeah. But her backstory does involve her having psychic dreams, so at this point I was wondering if maybe she hadn't been there as a kid, but she was just dreaming about the situation. But then she goes and gets the locket out of a drawer, so
right.
I guess she was really there.
It did happen.
Jun Kazama is played by Yumi Toma, who we know already. She was the voice of Gome-chan in Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai.
Oh, okay.
Gome-chan was the little golden metal slime that...
Oh, I remember Gome-chan.
Oh, okay. I didn't, so...
I think he's the only thing that I do remember. And also that butterfly that got, like, cut in half.
There were a lot of things that got cut in half. The butterfly getting cut in half didn't stick with me, but the image of it being sewn back together did.
No, he's better now.
So, interestingly, Yumi Toma did not play Jun in the games, but did play Nina.
Oh.
Since Tekken 1, but doesn't play Nina in this show.
Weird. Well,
Yeah.
she couldn't be Nina, because she's June.
Yeah, but that's so strange. She's also played Anna and Xiao Yu in the games, but yeah, she's been the voice of Nina since the beginning, and they got her for the show, but they assigned her to the wrong character. And got someone else to play Nina.
Well, she can't be both sisters. That's weird.
No, it's just so strange. In English, she's played by Edie Patterson, who her career actually seems to have really taken off recently, which is interesting. Because a lot of the English actors for this kind of disappeared after doing it. Like, they'd done a couple of other things, but not much. But Edie here played Judy in The Righteous Gemstones, which I've heard is really good, and I've been meaning to watch it. She plays Wanda in the Knuckles series from last year, which I still haven't watched. Or was it this year? And she also played Alva in Violent Night.
Okay.
She's been doing a lot very recently.
Good for her.
Yeah. So now we're in the city. I don't know if they ever say what city this is. I'm assuming it's Tokyo, but if they say so, I don't remember it.
I don't know. I wasn't paying that close attention.
Jun and a mysterious shadowed guy with lit up glasses are watching footage of people finding semi-composed dinosaurs in a fishing net.
That's not what that is. That's a humide.
Yeah, I don't know what a humide is, though.
No, I don't know what the hell was going on.
No. The guy who's talking says that they've collected samples. I think he says that the specimen was stolen before they got there, but they managed to collect some samples from the net and test them in the lab. And he gives Jun this report, and she's like, that's impossible.
The merging peoples and dinosaurs.
There's so much dense backstory contained in just a few sentences here. Just really dumped on us all at once.
Right, it doesn't really elaborate on it in a way that would make for a satisfying story.
So the creature seems to be the result of cloning, something which has been banned by something called the Darwin Treaty 8 years prior to this.
So we don't get all these freaking animal people. We're not gonna have cat girls, Mike. Society would implode.
They apparently work for a company called 3WC. We are not told what that stands for.
3 wet chickens.
I looked it up. It doesn't seem to be a thing from the game, so no answers there. I hope it is 3 wet chickens. I mean, I was assuming it was the third water closet. Male, female, this one.
Other.
Because that probably named that because that's where their headquarters are.
In the
non-binary toilets. Nobody in that company was ever using the non-binary toilets, so they just kind of snuck a headquarter in there. It's gonna be the only reason they're getting away with it is because this is 1998. If this happened now, they'd be discovered. Apparently, the Mishima conglomerate are involved, and they own almost 70% of the world's defense industry. And there are rumors that Mishima is preparing for war and maybe producing bioweapons, and Jun is being sent to investigate.
My headcanon is that Heihachi is trying to make cat girls.
I'm assuming that they are bringing in Alex from the games. Do you know Alex?
Let me do a quick
Google Tekken Alex.
Oh. No, I don't know Alex. I know about like the bears and the guy with the leopard head.
Yeah, no, Alex was my personal character of choice when I played Tekken 2 with my friend. So I'm assuming this is like foreshadowing of him, and I really hope he's in the second episode because I love him.
That would be pretty goofy.
Tekken is dumb. I don't know if you know how dumb Tekken is.
I'm starting to understand that, yeah.
So for anyone who isn't looking at a picture of Alex right now, Alex is a velociraptor with boxing gloves on. And that's what I like about Tekken, is that you've got all these like very serious kind of martial arts dudes. And then there's just a bear, there's a couple robots, there's a kangaroo and a velociraptor both wearing boxing gloves. It's great.
Stupid. What a stupid series.
So I guess all of this like cloning stuff is an attempt to explain Alex, because I don't think Alex was really explained in the game, at least not that I remember. I think he was just kind of there.
Don't try to explain away the mystery of the best character. We don't need to know.
So Jun doesn't think it's going to be possible to infiltrate because the Mishima Company HQ is on some heavily guarded remote islands.
That they just happen to be having a fighting tournament on, and they have one every year.
Not only that, but she happens to be invited, because it's made clear that this is an invite-only fighting tournament. You can't just sign up for it.
Yeah, I thought at first that she had gotten like a media pass or something, but no, she's a fighter. She's a registered fighter in this.
Yeah. Like, there's a few times where people, like, recognize her fighting style and they're like, that's the Kazama style. So I guess it's been passed down through her family. She's the last, probably.
Who knows?
So anyway, apparently nobody knows what the head of the Mishima company looks like, but they've managed to get hold of a picture of him. And the guy hands it to her, and she's like, that's the guy from my dreams.
Hair that stupid could only be one man.
That's the guy who throws children off cliffs. There's a $1 billion prize, and the guy, her boss, I guess, we're never given a name for this guy. He says that with her fighting skills, she could win the tournament, so...
He's just gassing her up so she can go there and do his dirty work.
Hey, you can go and do my dirty work, and you could get $1 billion.
It's definitely real and happening.
And she goes and watches some seagulls. You know, this made seagulls look kind of cute. They're not. Don't be fooled.
No, I know all about your lifelong rivalry with seagulls.
When you live on the coast, you learn to fear and respect the seagull. So she's thinking about it, and then she has a psychic premonition, and it's that some guy is about to surprise attack her from behind.
Right. It's that there is a foot coming immediately in her direction.
Maybe I just don't know because I'm not a martial arts person, but I don't think this is a good way to introduce yourself.
What? You're just not part of that world, Mike.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so.
If you're an ultimate fight boy, that's a sign of respect.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just a penultimate fight boy, so... Yeah, he says it was a test, because she grabs him and throws him. If, he had won, whatever winning looks like in this situation, I'm sure he would have been like, absolutely, I kicked your butt. But now, because he lost, he's like, I was just testing. It wasn't a big deal. Don't be mad about it.
Schrodinger's douchebag.
Yeah, whatever. Calm down about it. I mean, taking it so seriously. It was just a prank, bro. Calm down.
I didn't even land a hit on you. Like, yeah, I would have knocked you into the sea if I did, but whatever. It didn't happen.
So this is Lei Wulong of the Hong Kong International Police Force. He is played by Akio Nakamura, who didn't have a lot of roles, and they were pretty spread out. It seems like he's been acting for a long time, but not consistently. It must be a side gig, I think. He must have some other job.
He has a rich and fulfilling life outside of voices.
He played Matthew in Eureka 7, and the one that I found was the most interesting was No Face in Spirited Away.
So he just spent a long time going, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good... Because the only time No Face speaks, it's in the voice of the frog guy, right? It's not No Face's voice.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I don't remember.
I think that's right. I haven't watched it in a while either, but... In English, he is played by Gray G. Haddock, who is best known as the head of animation at Rooster Teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the voice of Roman Torchwick in Ruby and Locus in Red vs. Blue.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure Rooster Teeth got bought out and closed down recently.
I think that's true.
Which is a shame. I never really watched much of Rooster Teeth's output, but I had a lot of respect for them and what they were doing.
I watched some Red vs. Blue back in the day.
I watched The Stranger Hood back in the day. You ever see that?
Mm-mm.
That was their series made in The Sims 2. It's basically the same deal as Red vs. Blue, but The Sims 2 was the tool being used, and it was officially sponsored by EA. So
does that count as?
We'll do it. Yeah. It's on the list. Lei is another character that debuted in Tekken 2 alongside Jun. Both Lei and Jun were investigating the Mishima company in that game, but they were both doing it for different reasons, and from what I can tell, they don't seem to have worked together at all. And like I said earlier, they were investigating Kazuya, not Heihachi. So Lei's been invited to the tournament too.
Yeah.
And he's been asked specifically to work with Jun on the investigation. You got distracted?
I sure did. I got distracted by a thread. Can Kuma be considered a Mishima? I think so. Because I think it's funny.
I think so.
He's mastered the Mishima style.
I mean, do you know much about Kuma?
I read this thread about him,
All
so...
right, we'll talk about Kuma later. Because Kuma is in this.
I know, I saw him.
I love that Jun just insults him. Like, all the way through this episode, she just insults Lei constantly, while he keeps flirting in response.
Yeah, he's a weird dude.
I don't think he understands. He's not very good at picking up signals.
I don't know that he's really flirting that hard. I think he's just kind of being a goofus.
Yeah, maybe. He points out, and he makes a good point here, that they have been invited by the Mishima company to this tournament, despite the fact that the Mishima company definitely knows what they do for a living.
Investigate the Mishima company?
Yeah. Well, he's in the Hong Kong police. So, he says they need to be careful and be on their guard.
I hear those police coming for you.
Okay, they passed. I'm safe. It does show a lot of confidence, I think, for a criminal organization to invite 2 police force members to their competition.
Yeah.
Suddenly demons!
Oh no, not again.
It's just in the show this time. It's okay.
Oh, okay. It's just Heihachi and his weird son.
Yeah, Heihachi is meditating. He's interrupted by his adopted son, Lee Chaolan, who in the games, I'm pretty sure Heihachi adopted Lee specifically to annoy Kazuya.
That checks out.
I think that's the only reason. But Lee is played by Shinichiro Miki, who we know very well.
Oh?
He is James in Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
He's Akira in Virtua Fighter.
Everything comes back to Virtua Fighter.
And he was also Alistair in Beautiful Joe. Alistair was the purple evil Joe. He's Joe's Shadow the Hedgehog. In case you don't remember.
I'm just caught up on the fact that in Tekken he's the voice of the unwanted adopted son. But in Virtua Fighter he's Akira Yuki.
Yeah. That is pretty funny now that you mention it. In English, he's played by David Stokey, who hadn't done much. And to illustrate how little there was in that list, I've written down 2 that stood out to me. He played junior attorney in 2 episodes of Prison Break.
Okay.
And he played Balding Man in The Leftovers.
Whoa, Balding Man?
Yeah, Balding Man.
That's an impressive role. He's got a lot of range.
That's true. He can play the adopted son of a criminal. He can play a junior attorney, and he can play a balding man. Do you think it said balding man in the script, or do you think that's just a description of what the actor looked like?
I think it said balding man in the script.
Okay, I hope so. Because otherwise, if you just look in the credits and you just see balding man, you're going to be like, oh. Anyway, Lee tells him that they've got 3 days until the tournament and the experiment is ready.
Oh no.
Is the experiment Alex?
I hope so.
Me too. I guess you had no idea what Alex was watching this, huh?
No.
So as the idea that the experiment could be Alex changed your perception of this whole thing?
If the second episode of this doesn't just go wacky wild and get turn into like a comedy anime, I'll be disappointed.
Because the experiment is hyped up as something very like sinister and dangerous in this whole episode. So if the reveal of that is a velociraptor with boxing gloves, I will lose my mind in the best way.
What if Kuma comes and fights him?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Heihachi asks Lee about him, but Lee says that he doesn't expect Kazuya to return because Kazuya has renounced the Mishima family name.
Right, because that's the one and only thing that would stop him from coming.
Oh, he says that to Heihachi, but he clearly doesn't really believe that.
That's true. If he goes out and tries to murder him.
Yeah, he goes out and has several assassination attempts placed on his adoptive brother, so...
Well, just in case I'm wrong.
So he's in the car with Nina Williams complaining about his brother, and Nina is played by Minami Takayama, who had one of the more interesting lists of previous roles. She was the voice of Kiki in Kiki's Delivery Service.
Okay.
She was the voice of Detective Conan himself.
Ooh.
She played Pai-chan in Virtua Fighter the games, but she wasn't Pai-chan in the show that we watched.
Okay.
She was Nabiki in Ranma 1/2. She played Hajime in Danganronpa 2.
Oh, okay.
And she does not play Nina in the games because Jun's voice actor plays Nina in the games. In English, she's played by Ellie McBride, who played Heaven in Get Backers. She played Query and Talia al Ghul in DC Universe Online. And she played Kay Lewis in Subtopia, the story of Hueco Canyon. I don't know what that is, but it sounded interesting. Nope. Apparently it's a mockumentary, but that's all I know.
Cool.
So Nina is in the original game. She's an assassin who was sent to assassinate Heihachi in the game, which is not her role here.
No, she seems to be working for him.
Yeah, or at least for his son.
Right, inadvertently.
Nina mentions Lee's fighting days when he was known as the Silver Devil, and Lee says that he's put all of that behind him to become a businessman. It's funny, because from what I read about Lee, it sounds like he's actually, like, the kindest and nicest of the Mishima family in the games. But he's very clearly, like, he's kind of portrayed as the worst of them in this, I feel like.
Right.
The least honorable.
Yeah, because in this, it's not Kazuya and his demon chest.
That's something I think is really interesting about Tekken, is so much of it is about, like, I guess the idea that, like, revenge corrupts you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Kazuya is the hero of the first game, but, you know, you beat the game and he finally gets revenge and defeats his father, and then in the second game he's become even worse than his father was, and he's the villain.
Right, which is something I was thinking about the whole time, because later he's like, the only and best purpose for living is revenge. I'm like, alright, but then what happens when you kill him?
Have you ever seen, I suppose you probably haven't ever seen the ending cutscene from the first game. Hang on, I'm gonna find it. Show it to you. Here it is. Let me make sure it's got the sound, because... Yeah, okay. I want you to watch this, and make sure you have the sound on, because the sound adds so much.
Where you going, Kazuya? What? That's it?
That's the ending.
Oh no.
He just, for anyone who hasn't seen it, in Kazuya's ending, he just picks up Heihachi, walks to a cliff, just kind of gently tosses him off of the cliff and then smiles at the camera. And like it all plays out with this like, oh, how would you describe the music?
It's some upbeat like electronic ditty.
But that same music is used over everybody's ending. It's just so Kazuya's ending is the funniest one to me, and that's the canon one.
Good.
I don't think it was supposed to be as funny as it is. So Lee wants Nina to kill Kazuya for him. I guess they're in a relationship in this. They're not in a relationship in the games.
I think Lee is dating both of the sisters.
Yes, that's made very clear. But in the games, he's dating neither of them.
In the games, he's clearly gay.
Nina has a fiance in the games, I think. I couldn't find out who it was. I don't think her fiance has ever been named. It's just been mentioned that she's engaged.
He's not part of the fighting world. He doesn't need to be.
He's not part of the fighting world or the assassin world, so
right.
He does, and
like,
he also doesn't know that she is.
It's a celebrity spouse that stays out of the limelight.
As far as he knows, she's a stay-at-home partner. She just takes care of the house. Anyway, now we go to the past where we see Kazuya climbing up the cliff, covered in blood, vowing to kill his father. And the devil speaks to him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of the devil.
He does willingly let the devil in, but, like, whatever. Haven't we all?
Yeah. Oh, I know you have.
He looked so cold out there.
Just, let him in. Put a little bowl of water on the floor.
Yeah, just let him curl up by the fire. Put a pillow down there.
Wait for him to come to you. He will when he's ready. So Kazuya Mishima is played by Kazuhiro Yamaji, who seems to have gotten his start in pornography.
Okay.
When I looked at his IMDb, like the first 10 things on the list were very clearly porn. So, interesting.
What's his name?
Kazuhiro Yamaji.
Well, he's doing a lot now, apparently.
Oh yeah, he's clearly not in porn anymore. He's the voice of Sid in Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts.
Office lady experience, pregnancy. Raped with eyes, daydream.
Yep.
Beauty in rope hell.
But, as well as those, he's also Makoto in Yakuza, and he's Hit in Dragon Ball. I want to know if we saw his pee-pee or not. Like, was he the penis in the porn, or was he just, like, a character actor?
I don't know that you have that many repeat character actors.
You never know. You ever seen the Friends episode where they find out that Joey was in a porno?
Probably 25 years ago.
They get the tape, and it turns out he's just a guy who comes in to fix the copier, but he can't because people are having sex on it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it was like that.
I know people aren't watching porn for the plot, but, like, seeing porn only get 4 stars out of 10, something about that feels especially sad.
Oh, really?
Beautiful Sisters painting only got 4 stars.
Oh, I hope he wasn't the penis in it then, for his sake.
Maybe he just wasn't a very good... Oh, sorry, that says panting, not painting. That makes a bit more sense, considering the subject. But Rape Hunter Torima got 5.4 stars.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
That's still not good. Although, are these on, like, Is this on its own scale for porn, or is this on the same scale that like
This
Citizen
is just on
Kane is
IMDb, so probably not the porn scale.
Okay, so they're
Somebody popped in that movie and they're like, I can't follow the story. What's going on?
Yeah, so this is on a scale of like, if it's on a scale of like Food Fight to Citizen Kane, then 5 is probably a pretty good score for a porno.
That's true. I don't know.
So in English, who the fuck were we talking about? Kazuya. In English, Kazuya is played by Adam Dudley, who, again, didn't have a lot of stuff. He was additional voices in a game called Freelancer, which I played when I was a teenager and I enjoyed. And also in Wing Commander Prophecy. And he worked in the art department on Ride to Hell Retribution.
Ooh.
Remember that game? One of the worst games ever made?
No, I don't.
A lot of people talked about it when it came out. You probably would have heard of it. That was the like motorbike game that was awful and had a lot of like clothes on sex scenes.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's really funny. It's very bad. The thing that really stood out to me about Adam Dudley playing Kazuya is that he is very clearly not a voice actor.
Okay.
And Kazuya's voice acting is hilariously bad in the English version.
What is that feeling? What is it?
Good.
Kazuya says he can feel the evil growing in him, and he has a giant glowing scar on his entire torso.
That's where the demon lives.
Yeah, there's no point where he's like, this thing's glowing red again. Should I get that looked at? But then Nina shows up to fill his entire world with bullets.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It is. But Satan has protected Kazuya yet again.
Yes, and they have a little fight, and Nina gets defenestrated.
A lot of people getting thrown out of windows, off cliffs.
But, you know, as she falls from the window, she does blow up his apartment.
I do love that they happen to be right by the water so they could both land gently in it instead of plummeting to their deaths.
Yeah, and he just assumes that Heihachi sent her. Heihachi doesn't know anything about this.
He's too busy making dinosaur fighters.
I'm assuming that Heihachi wants Kazuya to come back for the fight, and because that was the whole thing, right? If you're truly worthy, you'll climb back up.
Yeah.
He wants Kazuya to come and kick the shit out of him. And
yeah.
prove that he's really his son.
He wants a strong heir.
She escapes by going underwater. And now for some reason we're watching a lady in the shower.
Yeah.
And we see almost everything.
We see a very close approximation of nipple.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit blurry because the shower's hot. It's misty. But there's, you know, my mind filled in some nipples. So this is Anna Williams in the shower. We saw her naked before we learned her name.
Yeah. Such is life.
And she... I mean, who hasn't been there at some point? She's in a hotel with Lee, who's receiving a call about the failed assassination. She is Nina's sister, and this is where we learn that Lee is banging them both.
Yeah, he's playing both sides.
Presumably, Nina doesn't know, but Anna definitely does.
Yeah, she's okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she'd even be sleeping with him if he wasn't in a relationship with her sister.
That's true.
It seems like that's really all she wants.
She seems to be motivated by spite.
Yeah. Do you want to see Nina's ending from the first Tekken game?
Uh-oh.
Because I feel like it tells us everything we need to know about Nina and Anna's relationship. Also, this is a really weird ending. This is one of the weirdest endings in the game, in my opinion.
What is this? What is this? Nina Anna! Oh, Tekken.
So, in Nina's ending, Anna shows up and she's lost one of her shoes, and Nina shrugs. She doesn't know where it is. And Anna gets up in her face about it, and then Nina slaps her. And then Anna turns away to cry, and then Nina reveals that she had the shoe all along. Reveals to us, not to Anna. I just love, like, Kazuya's ending is him getting his revenge on his father and killing him. And Nina's ending is that she stole her sister's shoe and then gaslit her about it.
Right! Like, what is this?
So strange. Anyway, Anna is played by Kaori Yamagata, who played Naomi in Summer Wars, and she played Emma Frost in the 2012 X-Men anime. But other than that, not really a whole lot that I had heard of. In English, she's played by Claire Hamilton, who played Huntress and Zatanna in DC Universe Online, and she played Gandrada in Metroid Prime 3. I know those.
I don't.
So Lee and Anna are, I guess, bonding over both being the lesser sibling in their families.
Yeah.
And then they bone down. We don't see any of it because it's not that kind of show.
We get nipple and no more.
Yeah. No Lee nipple.
What's up with that?
Yeah, sexism. Lei and Jun are looking at US military data on Mishima's island, which apparently has some kind of underground facility on it. And they've heard about the hotel bombing. Because that it's not made clear to us until this point, but I guess Kazuya was just staying at a hotel. I wonder where he gets money.
Probably just punches it off of people.
Oh yeah, sometimes they drop money, sometimes they drop a whole chicken.
Right. And then he crouches over it and eats it.
So they head to the boat to the island, and this is where Jack is here. Along with Jane, the little girl.
Yeah.
That he has. He's being denied entry to the boat. So I'm pretty sure, any Tekken fans out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Jane's presence means that this is Jack 2, because each Tekken game has a new Jack. I don't know if you know this, Mel, but Jack's a robot.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's not actually explained in this episode, but...
It's not, but June and her mysterious powers says that she can't sense anything from him at all.
Yeah, but she does sense that the little girl is dying.
What a bother, being able to sense the imminent death of nearby little girls.
I think this little girl, I think Jane, as she's actually called, I think she's just used as a prop in this show, because in the credits she's just listed as Jack's little girl. I don't think she ever has any lines. I think she just makes little noises. She's never named.
This isn't about her.
No. So anyway, Jack 2, if that is the Jack that he is played by Akio Otsuka, who played Bato in Ghost in the Shell. He is the voice of Solid Snake in the Metal Gear series.
I've heard of him.
He played Matsumoto in Cowboy Bebop. Matsumoto is the guy who is responsible for Faye Valentine's debt. He's the con man who put all of that debt on her, which is kind of her entire backstory.
Kind of her deal.
Yeah. He also played both Ansem and Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh no!
And he is the voice of Samurai Goro in Smash Brothers, but only in Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Not in the anime, sadly. In English, he's played by Mark O'Brien, or Mark O'Brien, maybe? I'm not sure. He literally only had one other thing on his IMDb, and that was that he was the narrator in Yoma, Curse of the Undead.
Cool.
So I'm thinking he probably worked in like another department and just did these two voices.
Just read a few lines.
Yeah. They're like, we need some guy to play this big robot dude. Mark, are you busy? So the ship guards are going to shoot Jack. So he covers the kid up. This kid is small enough that he can cover her entirely with one hand.
He is freakishly large.
Oh yeah, he's a behemoth. Jun and Lei just come and fight the guards off, despite the fact that they really don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
I think they just saw some guys with guns and they were like, oh, it's kicking time.
Finally.
We haven't got to fight anyone yet in this show.
Right, we've been invited to an Ultimate Fighting Championship and haven't punched anyone?
But Lee, with all the commotion going on, Lee notices it. So he comes down and he calls Bruce out, and he tells Jack that if he can beat Bruce in a fight, then Jack will be allowed to come to the competition too. So this is how we know, like, anyone can't just join. You can't just show up and join the competition. You have to be invited.
You weren't invited!
But he can get invited if he beats Bruce up.
It's not even a competition. It's so one-sided.
So Bruce Irvin is another Tekken 2 character. He's a world champion kickboxer turned Mishima employee. He is played by Seiji Sasaki, who played Rikum in Dragon Ball, Bluno in One Piece.
One Piece?
He played a character in One Piece called Bluno or Blueno, I'm not sure. And he also played Sig Curtis in Full Metal Alchemist. In English, he's played by Peter Harrell Jr., who played Man with Video Camera in When Zachary Beaver Came to Town.
Wow.
So Lei recognizes Bruce. And in the games, Lei is hunting Bruce because Bruce killed Lei's partner.
Oh.
That doesn't come up here.
No, he doesn't seem too bothered by it.
No, not really. So I'm assuming that's not the case in this show. Jack is pretty cute with Jane. I liked the two of them together.
Yeah, for the 5 seconds that we see them.
Yeah, he just, like, comforts her, puts her down, and he's like, go over there. Don't worry.
I won't be long.
And he's right. She really didn't need to worry. Because he basically just stands there and lets Bruce break his arm, attempting to punch him.
Break his own arm, that is.
Yeah, Bruce breaks Bruce's arm. Bruce punches Jack and his arm just kind of shatters. We see a brief x-ray of all the bones shattering inside his arm.
Right, we get that Mortal Kombat x-ray shot.
Yeah. And then Jack just knocks him straight off the pier into the water. And does he get back out or do they just leave him?
We never see him get back out.
No, I guess we'll find out if he's in the second episode or not.
Or if he died.
Yeah. Well, I could see them just being like, well, he's not an ultimate fighter. Leave him in the river.
Right.
The ship departs and they walk through. Jun and Lei walk through it, checking out the other fighters. And we see there's a few cameos in the background here. I definitely saw Paul Phoenix. And I saw some characters who might be Martial Law and Yoshimitsu, but they were drawn with so little detail that it's hard to be sure. And then they spot Michelle Chang sitting on her own looking sad. And they comment on how sad she looks. And they do not check in on her.
Nah. This is an ultimate fighting tournament. We don't have time for feelings.
Yeah, we don't need to go talk to that sad girl.
She's probably fine. She's probably sad because she's not beating someone up.
Michelle Chang is played by Narumi Hidaka, who is known for playing Eria in Vision of Escaflowne. Or is it Escaflowne? I don't know. She also played Alan B. Beardsley in Gundam.
Cool.
In English, she's played by Jessica Robertson, who played Kate Douglas in The Big Green and Junie Rose in She Fought Alone, which is a TV movie about a rape victim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked it up. I was like, well, let's see what this is. And I read the plot and I was like, man, that was depressing.
That was darker than I was hoping for.
Yeah. Lee notices that Kazuya wasn't on the boat. But then he spots him standing on a bridge.
He just hops right on. He's been standing there all week waiting for this boat to pass.
He couldn't possibly get on the boat in a normal fashion. He had to do it the most dramatic way possible.
Well, yeah. Like, if you were on a lifelong mission to kill your own father, would you just walk onto the boat to his fighting tournament island? I think not.
You would wait until it passed under the bridge, and then you would leap down onto it, and you would do the Iron Man pose.
Well, like, how embarrassing would it be if you show up and you have your little ticket and you just walk on like a normal contestant?
Hello, can you take me to Daddy's Island, please?
I need to kill Papa, thank you.
I'm here to kill Father.
Yes, he's expecting me.
Look here, 1 ticket to kill my father.
1 ticket to patricide.
When Kazuya gets on the boat, Jun feels the dark presence again. And then she's like, oh, there it is again.
This man's lousy with Satans.
However, the last time she felt this was when Lei attacked her. It wasn't anything to do with Kazuya.
Maybe Kazuya was like hiding in a bush somewhere.
That's what I was thinking. Like, maybe while, like, because the whole setup is like, she feels that and it warns her that Lei's about to attack her and then she grabs him. But what if it was just a coincidence and Kazuya was just passing by with his shopping?
He's got an ice cream cone. He's crossing the street.
It just happened to be at the exact moment that would warn her about Lei trying to kick her in the back of the head.
He turns around, he's like, why is that man assaulting that woman?
Oh well, puts his headphones back on.
Demon in my belly, he's hungry for some ice cream.
What's that, Satan? Extra macadamia nuts? Oh, I couldn't possibly. Oh, if it's for you, Satan, okay.
We're gonna have to work extra hard to work this off, you know.
I wanted to rent Speed 2, but Satan wants to rent big booby bitches. It's not me, you understand.
It's the demon.
One of Lee's bodyguards when he's sitting on his like boat throne is Ganryu, one of the Tekken 1 boss characters. He's a big sumo guy. Every time I see him, I think it's E Honda, but it's not.
I know.
So yeah, he's there, but that's his only appearance in this episode, I think.
You know who else is there? It's Kuma.
Is Kuma there too?
He's in the next scene when they pull up to the island.
Oh, right. Yeah. I did love how, as Leia's like making observations about Kazuya, his voice just like fades out as we zoom into Jun. It's just like, yeah, she's not listening.
へえ、養子のリー・チャオラン以外に三島に息子がいたのか。初耳だな。奴も大会に出場するのか。
Been there.
She does recognize Kazuya.
I'd recognize those eyebrows anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? So yeah, it's sunset, they're at the island, and we see a brief shot of Kuma climbing down from a tree. Kuma is Heihachi's bodyguard. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't. When I was looking up and stuff about Kuma, it was like, yeah, Kuma is Heihachi's bodyguard.
But obviously he's a Mishima.
I would say so. He's at least an employee. Oh, did Heihachi raise Kuma? I want to say Heihachi raised Kuma and trained him to be a bodyguard. In the later games, I'm pretty sure it's a new Kuma. It's like Kuma's son is the new one, because bears don't live that long, and the series has been going for a while. Okay, yeah. Kuma 2 appears from Tekken 3 onwards, because the original Kuma passed away. Tuma, yeah. Kuma was a bear cub found abandoned in the forests of the Mishima estate by Heihachi Mishima, who took him in as a pet. As he grew to adulthood, Kuma began to show a superior intellect, and Heihachi, upon realizing this, began to train him, teaching him sign language, fighting techniques, and basic Japanese. Due to Kuma's impressive abilities, Heihachi made him his bodyguard, and Kuma accompanied him to the first King of Iron Fist tournament. So yeah, I'm gonna say Kuma counts as a Mishima.
He is. He's an adopted son like Lee, but Heihachi actually likes him.
Yeah, he's his most beloved.
He didn't throw Kuma off a cliff.
No, he didn't. Oh my god, I just found a picture of the current Kuma. Because the original Kuma is just a bear.
Mm-hmm.
This is Kuma's son.
I love him.
He's still just a bear, but now he's wearing a jacket and a headband and has sports tape wrapped around his wrists and ankles for some reason.
What do you mean for some reason? It's so he doesn't get any injuries.
Yeah, you're right.
What a cool dude.
Yeah, my third favorite character, behind Alex and Roger. Roger's the kangaroo.
I figured.
So yeah, but we at least know Kuma is here. He only very briefly appears in this episode, but we know that he exists in the world of the anime at least.
He is canon.
Yeah. They are told that the competition will begin in the morning, and they are to enjoy the facilities until then. There's just guards everywhere. It's like a maximum security prison for very rich people.
Yeah, but Kazuya's still enjoying the facilities.
Yeah. The gym seems pretty good. I wish we saw what the inside of the apartments were like. I bet they're real fancy.
Oh, you know they are.
But we see Lei peeking out the curtains of his, and we see Jun standing on the balcony of hers. I mean, I guess if there's a balcony, that already says something, right?
It's already 1 degree of fanciness.
Yeah. But she hears... Lei is watching the guards from his window, and he concludes there's nothing they can do until the competition starts in the morning, because it's just too guarded.
It's too lousy with guards.
And Jun, looking at the stars from her balcony, thinking about Kazuya, we see that for some reason she brought the locket with her.
It's apparently just a good luck object for her now.
I suppose. I mean, she was just keeping it in a drawer in her bedroom, but now she's taking it on the mission.
I did have that thought. I was like, oh, it's too bad she wouldn't have brought that locket to be like, hey, remember me? But she did.
She did. Yeah, it would have made more sense if she had been able to go back to her house after seeing Kazuya, because then it would have been like, she brought it for a reason, but it's just a bit strange. She's carrying around this locket of a picture of someone else's mom.
And some random baby.
It's true. Some random baby that she watched get launched off a cliff when she was a child.
He wasn't a baby at the time. He was a child. It's different.
Okay. Anyway, she sees a premonition of him transforming into devil, which is a thing that he does. And then she hears him in the gym punching things. He breaks a punching bag, and then he has a small breakdown of his own.
He kicks it so hard all the sand tears out.
Yeah. And I guess he's just like experiencing the effects of slowly turning into a devil.
Yeah.
But Jun arrives and gives him back his locket, and I feel like it's unclear whether he genuinely doesn't remember the locket or if he's just like refusing, trinkets of his past.
Pretty sure he's just refusing it.
Yeah, he refuses a bit too hard for somebody who just wouldn't remember it, right?
Yeah. And like, after Nina shows up and tries to kill him again, and he just like hands the locket back to Jun. He's like, I don't want to see you again, but just take this. I don't want it.
To remember me. Before Nina shows up, we get my favorite line in the whole episode. Why are you so upset? Is it because your father threw you off that cliff?
I did laugh at that. No.
No, I'm upset for other reasons.
Doesn't that happen to everyone? We get over it.
She apparently searched for him for days, but couldn't find him.
Oh yeah. She was down there in the muck.
I assume that means that she was there longer than he was.
Yeah, because he crawled back out, and she's just like, well, he's dead. I have to find him.
Well, I searched for days and I didn't find any body. He must be dead.
I kept hearing the agonized screams of a little boy, but that had to have been a yokai.
At one point, I heard a devil speaking to a small child.
That's just the Yamabiko.
And I did find this trail of blood leading up the mountain, but it's probably nothing. So yeah, he climbed the cliff and he lived only for revenge, and he straight up says he sold his soul to the devil. I'm assuming that she thought that was just colorful language.
Right. Not the actual truth.
Yeah, which is that he did literally sell his soul to the devil to survive. He challenges Jun to a fight, and this is where Nina shows up and tries to kill him, interrupting their fight. Nina fails, and then Anna shows up to bazooka her for it.
Didn't Nina fail because June threw the locket at her?
Yes.
So good.
Nina was doing some, like, fishing wire stuff.
Yeah.
She was trying to strangle him.
She wasn't trying to strangle him. She was trying to cut his head off.
Oh, yeah, you're right. She did draw blood.
Yeah. She's doing, like, the piano wire trick.
The fact that it goes from that to just a bazooka being shot at them.
I could not handle that.
Anna doesn't even really wait to see how the assassination attempt pans out. She's just like, oh, looks like you failed again.
Like, why is nobody on this island concerned about the giant explosion in the gym?
Well, an alarm went off.
But, like...
But that's all that happened.
Yeah. Everybody jumps out a window, and that's just kind of the last we hear of it. Anna walks off peacefully into the night.
Yeah, and Nina disappears too. Jun tries to get him to take the locket again. He warns her that he's going to kill his father, and if she gets in his way, he's going to kill her too.
Yeah, just plow through her.
And now it's the next morning, and the fighters are all lining up. And there's some new guys here. We've got Paul Phoenix. That's the guy in the red with the silly blonde hair.
Yeah, there's a lot of hairstyles going on here.
Yep. We've got King and Armor King. Those are the leopard head guys.
Yeah.
I want to say King was the playable one and Armor King was his like boss character in the first game. I think that's the right way around. They don't actually have leopard heads. They're wearing masks.
They're very animated masks.
Yeah. But they're supposed to be like luchador fighters, I guess. I don't know.
Figured. But you know, there's a velociraptor in this game, so you're never sure.
Yeah. And several robots.
Several robots.
Because I'm pretty sure Yoshimitsu is at least partly robotic as well.
Half robot.
We've also got this one guy who just looks completely nondescript with the like short black hair and the karate outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a while to figure out who that was supposed to be, but I believe that is Baekdu-san.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's who that is. Lei asks June about what happened last night, and she lies to him.
How could she?
She says that she was just passing by when the explosion happened and she doesn't really know about it. Meanwhile, he gives her all kinds of information. Apparently, at some point, he was able to find an entrance to a secret underground plant. I don't know when that could have happened.
I don't know. He downloaded it off the internet.
He got onto the Mishima Wi-Fi.
Yeah. They have a password to the Wi-Fi in every room.
Complimentary Wi-Fi, complimentary apples.
Yeah.
So he's going to head to the secret underground plant as soon as the event starts. But she's going to go to the central tower to confront Heihachi. And I thought that meant that they were both like ditching the competition, but apparently going to the central tower is the objective of the competition. It just we haven't been told that yet.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon Tower, it's the Mage's Tower, it's the be-all and end-all.
Yeah. This is now where Lee finally explains the competition. Because in the games, it is just a straight-up fighting tournament. It's just like a Street Fighter. It doesn't have this kind of like battle royale element that the
Right.
show's added. This is very Hunger Games. They are all going to be entering the jungle at different points, and they have to fight their way through each other to be the one who reaches the central tower where Heihachi is waiting. And if they can beat him, they win $1 billion.
$1 billion.
And he steps out to announce this. And upon seeing him, Michelle goes nuts and throws a tomahawk at him.
Which he catches in his mouth and bites into pieces.
Yeah, that was so much. Michelle is interesting because she's very Halloween Native American, I want to say.
Yeah, she's got a headband with some feathers in it.
Yeah, she threw a tomahawk.
She did.
Apparently, she is half Native American and half, I think, Chinese in the games. So, although she doesn't look Native American at all, she just looks Asian.
That's why they had to put her in all the stereotypical garb.
Well, no, I'm thinking like that's the excuse that makes it okay that she's wearing all that stereotypical garb. It's like, no, it's okay, guys. I'm 1/15 Native American. Heihachi spots Kazuya in the crowd, and Lee is thinking about how nobody's going to reach the tower because of his experiment. We still don't know what that is.
Velociraptor.
It better be Velociraptor with boxing gloves. And Junzo worried about the bad feeling she has again. And then Heihachi makes a big old statement and everything gets cool art looking. And that's the end.
Cool art looking.
Yeah, I don't know how you describe it. The colors shift and everything pauses except for the voices. And it does a slow zoom out.
And Heihachi's huge.
And he's huge! He might actually be that big.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. We didn't see Jack here at the end, did we? I can't remember.
I don't know who that is.
The big guy, the robot guy.
Oh, right, him. No.
Yeah, I forgot they don't actually mention his name in the show, do they?
No.
I'm the only one who's mentioned his name. So, how did you feel about it?
It's fine.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've written, actually. Yeah, I don't really feel strongly about this one way or another.
I would probably finish it, but I don't know that it would suck me into the world of Tekken as a whole.
Yeah, I hope that the second episode does get into some of the wackier elements more, because that's the stuff I find interesting. So, you know, I'm crossing my fingers and I'm saying I hope that Alex shows up. I hope that Roger's there. I want Kuma to have a bigger role.
I want this serious show to get real silly with it.
Yeah.
I want a complete tonal shift.
And I hope that Kazuya turns into Devil by the end. That would be fun.
Does he just like turn inside out from the scar and then he is the devil?
Have you seen Devil?
Only in his brief appearances in this.
Oh, okay. Let me find you a picture of Devil. Kazuya. Here we go. This is what Kazuya becomes.
Yeah, so he just turns inside out from the scar outwards, and then he looks like a naked version of the Dracula from Darkstalkers.
I guess so, yeah. But he's purple.
Yeah.
Does he have furry legs? I never noticed that before. It looks like he's furry from the waist down.
It does. Is that so they don't have to animate his ding-dong?
They don't have to. But whether or not they choose to is another matter. There's also Angel. I'm not sure who it is that turns into Angel. I don't know enough about Tekken lore. And since Angel wasn't in this show, I I didn't need to learn anything about it.
Angel was in Buffy.
It's a different Angel. This one's a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, the dub.
Yeah.
So it was dubbed by ADV Films, who combined the two episodes into a movie and titled it Tekken, the Motion Picture. So they were trying to get real serious about it. Like I said earlier, it's the same company and the same thing that they did with the Sonic OVA. They added a lot of new music. They kept all of the original music as far as I can tell. But the new music choices were interesting because they are all licensed songs.
Good. I love it.
The scene with Lee and Nina talking in the car, they have added Clean My Wounds by Corrosion of Conformity.
I don't know that I know it, but I love that it's there.
It's about what you'd expect based on those names.
Good.
Based on the title and the band name. It's pretty hard to hear the dialogue over the song.
I'm not worried. Nonetheless, I do have my image as a businessman to maintain now. That's why I asked for your cooperation in this matter.
There is no mastering going on here.
As I mentioned earlier, Kazuya's acting is hilariously bad. I loved it.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're mistaken.
It was great.
Good.
When Kazuya and Nina fight in the hotel room, it plays Save Yourself by Stabbing Westward.
Let my father go. He should clean his neck while he's waiting for me.
Okay.
That song continues playing over the shot of Anna in the shower, which feels very out of place. You can't use the same song for a fight in a hotel room as you're using for a woman in the shower.
If you're a coward, maybe.
And I also really laughed at Lee answering the phone and learning that the first assassination attempt didn't work.
What? The assassination failed. All right, I see.
Guess we'll try again.
But that's it. That's the end. No more.
Oh, that's not much.
I know. Well, the thing is, if there were any major changes in the script, I don't know about it because I'm pretty sure
That's
the
true.
subtitles we had were just the English subtitles.
Right.
If anybody knows where we can find an actual Japanese fan subbed version of this, please let us know because I could not find one. I looked. This was not popular.
That's hard to believe.
I couldn't even find the raws of this. There's just not much of this online in general. I think it was so poorly received that they just kind of buried it afterwards. And to be honest, I looked at some of the criticism of it, and some of it felt kind of unfair. A lot of the criticism was aimed at the English voice acting, which is definitely fair. Some of the voice acting is terrible, but some of it was fine. And it's early anime, so it's before that anime voice had developed. You know, I've complained about it before, how in modern anime, everybody sounds the same and none of them sound like real people.
Right.
This show doesn't have that problem. Some of the acting is terrible because some of these people are clearly not actors. But the ones that are, good actors, they're talking like real people, and I like that. They're not talking like anime characters.
Right.
They're not doing like the whoa, we came out of the and the They sound like real people. I like that. That's the thing I like about watching old anime. Because the older the anime is, the higher the chance is that it wasn't dubbed by Funimation.
Right.
And when it's not dubbed by Funimation, you get people who are actually acting normally instead of trying to do anime. There's no other context outside of anime and video games where you hear those voices. Drives me crazy.
Maybe not in your life. Maybe you just need to have more fun with it.
Oh, do you know people who speak with anime voice in real life?
It's me.
No, you're not doing anime voice.
Not right now. This is my show voice.
Oh, I see.
This isn't my real voice.
Well, so you do show voice whenever we talk?
Yeah.
I've never heard your real voice?
Correct.
In 2 decades?
Yeah. I'm in it for the long haul, baby.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. All right. Well, feel a little bit betrayed, but that's fine.
You'll get over it. I believe in you.
Nah, I don't think so. Anyway, you gonna ask me about the legacy?
Ugh, if I must.
Nah, you don't have to. There wasn't anything. They pretty much just ignored this.
That's cool.
Thing is, it's playing it pretty fast and loose with the canon already by combining Tekken 1 and 2 into a single story.
Right.
Which kind of doesn't make any sense, since the hero of Tekken 1 is the villain of Tekken 2. So there really isn't any way that they could adopt any of this into the canon.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any new characters, so... Thanks for joining us, everybody.
What he said.
If you enjoyed what you heard today and would like to hear more, or perhaps to hear something better, but in the same line of whatever, head to patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub, where you can kick money in our faces and tell us to make this show better. Demand it.
Please, it's the only thing that'll work.
Thank you to Jamie Core, Mark Kelly, and our Club Mesmeron, Marley the Changeling, who have all already done this. Sorry, what did you just say?
Nothing.
Did you just sing Mesmeron?
No.
So it sounded like to me.
Why would I do something like that? Why would I do something weird like that?
Well, I don't know. But it's definitely being left in the episode, so eventually I'll find out what you did.
No, I'll go back and post and delete it myself.
Oh, I guess you could. It would ruin the sync, but...
I have that power.
I'm Skull Pirate Mike. You can find me on the internet. I just added new things to my Etsy store if you're interested. A comic, a print, and a bunch of stickers.
Not hungry.
I'm gonna eat a donut now.
At this hour?
Yeah, you can't stop me.
I wouldn't dare.
Are you the donut police?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do not interfere with my donut.
Donut police you?
Exactly.
No, you already failed to make that joke and I've taken it from you.
Bye! I'm sleepy.
Hi, Sleepy. I'm Dad.
Oh my god. I can't believe you did that to me.
You'll get over it.
And stop saying that.
You need to build some resistance, some resilience. I'm gonna throw you off a cliff.
Oh my god. What, and if I climb back up, then I'm your son?
Only if you have a demon in your belly.
Well, I had that already.
That's different. You can't keep
Oh.
referring to farts as demons. You're gonna give people the wrong ideas.